Sandra, President Biden is overseas, but he cannot escape the drama back home on Capitol Hill. Here's what the president had to say earlier about efforts to pass an abortion rights bill.
I don't think there's enough votes to codify unless something happens unusual in the House. I think we're going to get very close in the House, but I think it's going to be very close, but I don't think we're going to make it.
I don't think we're going to make it. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Karl Rove. So, Karl, you are an expert at divining where the remaining votes are and who they might likely go for. Based on that expertise, will Republicans, do you believe, take control of the House?
I think they will. Right now, as Chad said, Republicans 212, Democrats 204. Those are the races that are called. There are 4 races where the Republican leads by 5 points or better. California 27, Mike Garcia. California 45, Michelle Steele. California 3, Kylie. California 22, David Valdeo. So I think those are, and those range between 60 or 70% of the vote into the last 2, the 22nd and the 3rd. There's about 53% in. But I think that big a lead, it's going to be hard to overturn for the Democrats. Then there are 2 races where they're separated from the Democrat by 1.5% up to under 5. Ken Calvert in California 41 in the Inland Empire, he's up by 4,000 votes with 74% of the vote in. That's a steep hill for his opponent to climb. And the other one is New York 12 with Brandon Williams. This one, he's up by 4,000 votes, and literally virtually everything is in. I've talked to people in New York who wonder why this hasn't been called, because they're literally like dribs and drabs in some of his rural upstate New York district that have not been counted. But, I mean, it's 99% or better in. If they win those, they're at 218. And then they have 4 races that are less than a point. One of them is Arizona 6, Juan Cisimani, whom I went in and did some fundraisers for. He's up by about 1,700 votes, 0.5%. 89% of the vote is in. The good news for him is there's more votes out in the part of the district that he won by 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 than the part of the district that he lost 54-46. So I think he will hold on to win. And then we've got Boebert in Colorado. Again, same thing. She's up by about 1,100 votes, less than 5% of the vote out. Where it looks like it's out is clearly her territory. She's likely to win. And then a surprise one, Arizona 1, where David Schweikert, this is Scottsdale and North Phoenix, he's been behind through most of the count. They're about 94% of the vote is now in, and he moved ahead. He's up by 900 votes, but we don't know what's left out there. But he has been moving up the last couple of days, closing the gap, and now moving ahead here. He's got about 6% of the vote out. It's going to be on the bubble. The final one is California 13, which is Stockton to Fresno. The Republican is up by 89 votes with 61% of the vote in. This one is up for grabs.
All right. And then there's the Arizona governor's race. Let's put that up on the screen right now. Katie Hobbs against Kari Lake. Kari Lake insists that the majority of the votes that are still out are for her. However, when you look at Maricopa County, it's been 52-48 in favor of Hobbs for an awfully long time. Does Lake have the votes out there to win?
We'll see. Look, we don't know what's out in Maricopa. I mean, it's a big county with the majority of the state's voters in it. She's up, as you say, by 26,011 votes by the latest count. She would need, and her territory, the red territory outside of Phoenix, has already reported. It's already in. So all that's really left out is Maricopa and a little bit of some dribs and drabs elsewhere. She would need 58% of the remaining votes in Maricopa in order to erase that 26,000 vote margin. They think there are about 160,000 votes out there yet to be counted, but 58 is a big number. We'll see if that's the case. We really, though, don't know what's out and what's really in geographically in the county, and maybe it's a deep red part of the county that's still out. Maybe it's not.
All right, we will find out at some point. Karl, great to get your expertise, and we know that you've got the depth on this, so thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.